After about a 2-week break, welcome back to the Checkpoint. I'm CJ. I've been spending a lot of time writing, a lot of time grinding. Oh man, I had a really good joke. Hey, you know what? Oh, crap. I had a really good joke written down in my notes. I took the physical notes, and you want to hear my intro? Justin is my guest, by the way.
I want to hear what the intro is supposed to be.
All right. To quote American rock band Stained, it's been a while. But I took a few weeks off, recharging a little bit. Real quick, Justin, my guest today. I felt bad pushing you back so much, but I'm glad you're here.
It wasn't a big deal. I had a lot going on, so it ended up working out better for me.
I'm glad that we're saying that here, because obviously behind the scenes, you and I went through a lot of difficult fights. We didn't talk to each other for a month, but we're back here. We're good. We're making up pretty for the for the audience.
Just we had not knives to each other's necks a few times. It happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's a kind of funny situation. We're just here being nice. Oh man, Justin, you and I have known each other for about 6 years now, almost. Relative. I'm trying to remember exactly.
About 6 years or so, I'd say.
Do you remember the first thing you and I worked on or recorded in any capacity?
No.
Okay. You're gonna laugh. We both recorded a review for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
That makes sense. That tracks. That sounds right.
A game that you and I don't like.
Yeah, no, we didn't like it.
A game you and I talked about more than any other game.
And we also played a ton together and just talked about how much we didn't like it while we were playing it.
Man, I wrote down a little thing, a bunch of little things for how I was going to introduce you. Do you remember us playing Splitgate until 5 in the morning at one time?
Yeah. I absolutely remember that. That honestly might have been one of the most fun nights I've ever had playing a game. And it was just this mid game that died out pretty fast. And they've tried to bring it back twice now and it didn't work.
We did, man, Splitgate, what is it? Wheat Pump?
Wheat Pump, yeah.
Question.
Wheat Pump was for those of you that aren't familiar with the maps in Splitgate, there was just an ad for something called Wheat Pump on one of the maps. I don't know what it was. It's
weird.
Some supplement in world or whatever. But the ads were everywhere.
And my all-time favorite moment was, it was really late at night, probably midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're loading into the game, and I hear you laughing what's going on, and we look at the suggested streams for the game. For those who don't know, on PlayStation, they give you suggestions for suggestions for people who are streaming the game you're playing, and one of them was me playing Splitgate off
on perk 30s. Yeah.
And it was a picture of perks.
Yeah.
Just the default.
And it was also there 4 times. It wasn't just up there once. It was genuinely one of the funniest suggestions I've ever seen from a streaming site. I think it was 2 in the morning. It was real late.
We were crying.
I lost it.
Funny.
I still lose it thinking about that. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
You and I it's so funny because, and obviously dive deeper into it in this episode. A lot of our memories are tied to a lot of these online shooters. Remember Modern Warfare 2, the grind. That became our part-time job for a little bit. The 2022 reboot.
Yeah.
Of the game, that became our game for a while. We played that DMZ, me playing the Long Tall Sally over the proximity chat.
Oh god, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Well, that was, oh my god, that. And then recently Marathon.
Yes.
That the story I told in my review about how we killed the warden. This was you, me, and Maddie.
Yeah.
Killed the warden. It was relatively late at night, and I got the final shot. We're getting flanked by another team. I tell you, go run with all this shit that we picked up, and we'll figure it out later.
Because we had a cryo key from it, and it was the first time I'd ever seen one drop. It was back when they were super super rare.
It was I think 1 or 2 weeks before Cryo was out.
It was like the
it was
week before Cryo opened, so we didn't know what. We just knew that it was a very rare thing that was going to be really important.
The most important thing at that moment for us, and like I think we had seen it, and we're like, oh crap. And mind you, we were just kind of messing around with the warden. We're like, dude, we're not gonna get this guy. It's kind of like, let's fuck around for a little bit, then we'll lock in next round. You and Maddie were going down, and I'm like dropping like, what was I using? I was using like a Volt gun or something, and I hated it. Like trying to or an overrun AR.
I think we were on like free kits or something. I don't think
it was something like that.
We were set up for dealing with the warden.
And then you died at the last second, like another player, random, completely disconnected from like who we were dealing with and what we were dealing with.
Yeah, because like I had run a decent portion across the map, and like I had used the recon ping, and it was all clear around me. And I shot down a drone, and I got the schema that lets you buy self revives, because that was before I was far enough in like the faction progression to be able to buy self revives. So I that was like that and the cryo cube. Like these are like two of the things I've wanted to get the most. And the exfil was on. The countdown was at 3 seconds left, and some assassin just snipes me.
We all went quiet.
Yeah, I just like I had to mute my mic for like I didn't yell or anything. I just was like I just sighed very loud.
That we all went quiet, and we were all like, all right, let's go again, boys. Let's go.
That was probably the most frustrated I've been with the game. Like, was that moment. Like I have lost way worse. I have lost way more than that later, and I've had a lot of heartbreaking moments, but for some reason, like at that point early on in the game's life, and like before I really had a handle on some of that stuff, that moment got me.
It's funny because it's become like a common theme of this show in general. Like marathons is fascinating because it's one of the few games where losses don't hurt or aren't really as like anger inducing. It's like playing a really good roguelike where you're like, no, every death is an opportunity to learn, right? Like I don't get mad playing like roguelikes, and it's more so like, okay, I got this far, how do I get even further? But that one moment was like the absolute. Because it was the worst just because we got so far, we didn't expect anything, and again it was that warden
because we thought it was we thought it was going to be just like such a triumphant moment with like getting out with it, even though we weren't ready for it. We beat it. You guys had both been taken out by another team. I managed to get away. I ran good deal across the map. We're like, this is going to be such a cool moment. And then I just got sniped out of nowhere.
Like action hero. Like again, like you were like, oh, please tell my wife I love her. Like levels of like, let me run. Like crazy. What a game. Like what? It's funny how like these online shooters, like how we connect because we played some dog shit together.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Multiverses. Multiverses.
Yeah,
we were in that for a little bit.
I forgot about that one.
What else? Like anything that was like mostly like whatever free PS Plus. Speaking of, we got to play Darktide now.
Oh hell yeah! Darktide's good though. So plus,
I'm very excited for that.
Plus, it's 40K. I'll play whatever 40K garbage somebody throws at me.
Hell yeah.
Have you played? Have you played? Was it Necromunda? There's Necromunda, a shoot.
The looter shooter. Yeah, I don't like it.
It's not good. But I bought it because it's 40K.
I have a folder on my PlayStation that's just Warhammer.
I mean, yeah,
right? Like of all the games that I own, like that are Warhammer. So it's like both Sigmar and like 40K. I have like so many, and then as I'll talk about later, like I'm in my PC era. I got a bunch like there too. Like it's kind of ridiculous.
There's
right?
so
like,
many.
Or I'm just. So there's too many.
one of my favorite things to do is like whenever there's a sale on whatever like digital storefront of your choice is, just go and search Warhammer, and you will see at least like 5-6 games that you've never heard of in your life. And like I follow games closely, and I follow Warhammer, and I'm like there's a bunch of ones that I've never seen before from like some tiny team in Eastern Europe. It's great.
The funniest one I remember was like me being obsessed with like Diablo likes now. Discovering there are 2 Warhammer Diablo likes made by 2 different teams based on the 2 different like eras of Warhammer, so like different genres, and I'm like, like that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I learned about Rogue Trader when I was looking up unrelated. Like I was like, oh, I'm looking up sci-fi equivalents of something like Baldur's Gate, right? Because I'm a much bigger sci-fi head than I am fantasy head. I'm like, I want to play Baldur's Gate, but I'll get to it eventually. I want something sci-fi. Someone was like Rogue Trader. I'm like, there's no way, right? There's no way that again, if there's a genre you like, and you're like, damn, I can't find anything. There's a Warhammer racing game out now, like a Twisted Metal Mario Kart that just came out
with orcs.
It's the funniest. There's a
football game.
Flight game. There's like multiple. Yeah,
there's multiple. The
Blood Bowl ones. There's I think we're missing like 2D fighters, and I think that's pretty much it, right? 2D fighters, and I guess roguelikes, and then
they just announced a roguelike where you play as
Survivor Lake.
Yeah, where you play as Skaven. So yeah, they just announced it, so we're getting that, and then there's also like the Vampire Survivor thing.
That one I'm very excited.
That one's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to Bolt Gun 2. I liked Bolt Gun 1.
I gotta play Bolt Gun 1. I have it. I have it on PC and PS5. I want to play it because I like the idea. I'm not a big like single player shooter guy, but I do like the idea of like a very hyper violent, very fast. You put it like it's a coat of paint, right? I have Star Wars Dark Forces. Like again, I have no interest in old Doom likes, but obviously you put a property I like in front of, I'll dangle it like the pig that I am.
Yeah, like it's just straight up a 40K boomer shooter which
is like a genius, right? Like
with a Raul Coley taunt button. It's wonderful. You could just spam it. He has so many lines where he's just screaming full volume. It's great.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I gotta try it. That was a free PS Plus game a while back. I gotta boot it. I gotta play Space Marine.
Oh, you haven't played Space Marine?
No, I haven't.
Dude,
I gotta you know what it was? So I got it from work, and I just never got around to playing it. I had to return it, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll wait for a sale, right? The problem is the only versions that go on sale are the expensive versions with all like the cosmetics, which I have no interest in. I don't want to play the competitive stuff. Especially now, because I assume by now the player base is dwindling.
The competitive MP is like Space Marine 2 is like an Xbox 360 ass 360 game. Like the competitive multiplayer mode, it was like two factions that were not balanced well. I think there was like 3 maps at launch or something. Like it was just this thrown together multiplayer thing.
Very of that era, though, right? Like,
very.
Remember the Tomb Raider multiplayer or the Dead Space 3 multiplayer, or even the Uncharted multiplayer, which is good, but it's like, it doesn't need to be here.
I remember one of the ads for the Tomb Raider one, and it's like, oh, and here's our really unique mode for the Tomb Raider multiplayer thing. I'm like, this is just the idle mode from Uncharted. It's multiplayer. Like, it's just the same thing.
Everything is cyclical. Everything copies each other. Yeah, Space Marine 2 is like, it looks like my jam. God, and it's funny we're jumping to like the.
I could tell you 100% that Space Marine 2 will be your thing. I really like Space Marine 2.
So like again, yeah, correct. Because I'm burnt out on the big story-driven AAA game, but the fact that there's like this sort of like smaller scale linear action game set in the universe I like, right? Like it's that level.
Yeah, and it's really cool because like. I don't know. I'm just glad that the game did really well. Like Saber said that it did so well that it not only
it shouldn't exist. Right?
It not only expanded the support that game was going to get, and then got Space Marine 3 greenlit, and like Space Marine 2 took forever to get made, but they said they actually were able to increase the budget for a lot of their other projects. Their non-licensed stuff or some of the other licensed stuff that they've been working on. Like it was huge for the studio.
We're never getting KOTOR though, right? Like that's never gonna happen.
Oh no. no, I don't think that one's happening.
Oh man. All right, so we kind of jumped around. So what I like to do is a big part of the show is just us kind of like talking about what we've been up to and everything like that. I'm explaining it to you and the audience because I've been gone for so long, and obviously it's hard to forget what we're talking about. Everyone's listening to like 50 million podcasts at once. Justin, what have you been up to, man? What have you been playing? Even though we talk every day, I have a clear idea of what you're always up to.
Yeah. I mean, Marathon's been huge. I think I hit 245 hours in Marathon. Yeah, I have put a lot of time into that game. I really enjoy that game. It's been a while. Like, you know, I've played like multiplayer games pretty regularly, but like I'll play them for like a couple hours here and there. But like this has just been like really steady, just wanting to play this. I also played through Saros. Saros was really good. I like Saros a lot.
Real quick to your point about Marathon. So I compared it to two games, right? The first was like, remember when Halo Infinite came out? Everyone was just talking about Halo, and it was kind of nice to be on the same page as everybody about, hey, this game's good.
Yeah.
For me personally, it reminded me a lot of like the first time I played Modern Warfare 2019, where I was like, oh, there's like a incredible online shooter that I just want to play, right? Out of like this compulsion and out of this desire to like get better, see everything through, and like that Marathon is that level of like polish, that level of like no, like, you know, you're gonna want to play this out of like, just because you want to, right? Like there's nothing. It part of it is like that hamster wheel, right? Because, you know, you want to get better, you want to unlock everything, things like. But it's just that good on like a mechanical level. Same thing with Destiny.
Well, for me,
the loot stuff is like separate. It's all the mechanics are like good enough to kind of like draw you in and keep you there.
Yeah,
everything else just kind of comes naturally.
Yeah, for me, Marathon is like it's just one of those. It's one of those things that hits you, like not even just games, but like one of those pieces of media that just hits you at the right time for your like state of mind. Like it feels like something that was just made for me. Like just
right.
Like I have been like obsessed with the visual design of that game ever since it got revealed initially. I've always thought it was gorgeous. I just like moving the character around in that game. But like it feels great. I love the tone. I love the theming of it. It's just really cool. I'm really enjoying it. The season 2 trailer, the season 2 stuff looks way cooler than I thought it was going to be. I'm pumped for that.
I think with Marathon, I talked about this a lot, and I was being a nerd in my review, like comparing it to stuff like, you know, Jeff Vandermeer's like Annihilation, or even old like William Gibson books, right? Like I mean that this game is like the sort of, and Bungie's usually pretty good at that, right? They're very good at like pulling from like non-video game and even non-movie like sources. It feels like this sort of like, yeah, we're gonna throw cyberpunk stuff, we're gonna throw big alien stuff, big heady sci-fi stuff,
and all 90s anime.
Like yeah. All it's the culmination in like in this weird amalgamation of like, yeah, we think this stuff is cool, let's throw it in there. Same way Destiny and Halo are like sort of reflective of like the stuff they're influenced by, right? Destiny's very Star Wars. I mean, so much so they ended up doing an expansion. Halo is very much like what is it? Jason Jones talked about like pulling from like war like real life war journals and throwing that into like the games, like Halo 3 especially. Like,
yeah,
it's things like that. So like this feels like that level.
Like the Pelican designs basically like ripped from Aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a cool thing. This feels like it's cool to see all this effort put into like a mostly online, mostly competitive game.
Yeah,
right. Like it's you don't see that level of like care. Well, no, sorry, you do, but it's everything else feels half-assed because how many competitive shooters have, what is it, quote unquote lore, quote unquote story. Right, like Overwatch kind of did it the best, and then everything else seemed to like. I mean, Call of Duty's doing it; it sucks.
Oh, like, the Call of Duty stuff's bad.
Or my favorite, the Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six Siege arena arc, the tournament like, arc for Rainbow Six Siege.
Right. Yeah, it's all ridiculous. Like again, how many competitive games are trying to do like the shared universe sort of lore stuff, and then Marathon comes in and understands. No, you know you have to like really give a damn to put it together.
And the thing that's also really cool about like the narrative stuff in Marathon, like because like when you watch like they just released that cinematic trailer for season 2, But like when you watch the cinematic trailers for Marathon, that actually is like a decent reflection of what a match of Marathon feels like.
Right.
Whereas like a lot of times, like especially like Overwatch or like Apex Legends and stuff, like I like the story stuff, but it doesn't link directly to what the experience of a match is. Like, especially like hero shooter stuff, they have like these rivalries and friendships and stuff that are all like brought to the forefront in like the cinematic stuff that like isn't even a factor like in game. Like they could be against each other or together.
It is a bizarre thing, of a match. Right? Like,
but like
because there's like and then there's like one throwaway line that's like, "Hey, you're evil,"
yeah,
like, and that's it.
And like Marathon, because the conceit is that the shells are just a shell that your consciousness is uploaded into. They can have any combination of them that they want, but like the presentation and feel of it really does kind of channel what a match of Marathon is like. And I think that's really cool. And it's something that we don't see a lot, because like even like the modern military stuff, the cinematic cutscenes are people, guys walking around being all tactical and quiet and stealthy, when it's just like, yeah, no, I'm just sprinting around full speed and just like unloading an entire magazine as I come around the corner. Like that's not how anybody plays those games. And like Marathon does a really good job of approximating it's like, no, this is how, like, it plays with like the posing and animation, but like like you can even see them communicating and like having like the discussions or like miming to each other the same thing that you would like in a match with your teammates. And I think it's really cool. Like just the way that the narrative and theming of Marathon is reflected in gameplay is so unique in the competitive shooter space. And I just love it. Like it's not at odds with itself. And also if you're somebody that doesn't want to, because I can totally understand, somebody that just is in a competitive multiplayer game for the competitive multiplayer side of things, doesn't want to be loaded up with lore and story. Like you can easily avoid it, but it all is there if you want to check it out.
It's the perfect sort of like, that's why I never understood a lot of the arguments about like the game's making concessions, when in reality it is kind of like the perfect, you can approach it any way you want. Like you just said, you can approach it as like a very lore heavy thing. I mean, there's all, I've never seen a game with like lore and its like menus and options.
Yeah.
Like that's how like deep this thing runs. But you can also avoid all that, and like you just said, like, all right, jump in and out of matches as you want, as you wish. And it's all still like, you're still getting the same experience, right? Like you're still getting a complete game. You're still getting the Marathon experience. You don't have to like, it's the same thing. You could work with a team, get the same experience as someone who's playing solo. You could, link up with like players around the map, or you could kill them all. Like it's all still Marathon. And I think this game does a good job of like offering all that choice better than like most games, right? Like I feel like we're in this era where every game is boasting about how play your way, right? You can play as like evil or good or stealthy or guns blazing. This is the first time I played a game since like Phantom Pain where I am like the author of like everything. Like I'm the one steering the ship in like a meaningful way. And I appreciate that, rather than like it just being a straightforward battle royale style, get a kill, that's it, nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, and also just like it's one of those games that produces stories as you play. Like we already talked about some. And the exciting thing about it is like I want to share those stories with people. I want to talk about them with people. Like even if people weren't there with me, I want to tell them about like this really cool run that I had or how something played out. Like that's the stuff that makes multiplayer games really memorable for me. It's like that dynamic nature where it just creates really cool moments, and something that's really been lost from a lot of, I think, modern competitive multiplayer games. For me, there's kind of this endless pursuit of balance that has just kind of like flattened everything. everything has to be very brightly lit so that the lighting is fair for everybody to be able to see.
Right.
Everything has to be balanced.
Warfare.
Yeah, everything has to be
Warfare.
balanced with like, anything has the same percentage chance of winning and stuff like that. And a lot of multiplayer games have really lost a lot of atmosphere, and it's kind of why Battlefield has been, a big part of multiplayer games that I've played for so long, because Battlefield still had some sense of atmosphere. But Marathon, it channels like old immersive sims. It is so focused on the atmosphere and the feel, and it's inherently imbalanced as an extraction shooter. That's part of the fun of the genre. And it just clicks for me in a really special way, especially on something like Cryo Archive, which I think is probably one of the best multiplayer maps of all time, especially now that I've gotten a decent handle on learning it. It's a really incredible thing that I think combines so many eras of FPSs. Like, the original Marathon trilogy is 90s FPS. And that kind of takes like the labyrinthian map design, but it puts it in like a modern competitive multiplayer environment. But you still have like the really thick atmosphere kind of like the later 90s, early 2000s shooters. And then, the very modern PvPvE setting. And I just think it's really cool. It's not just pulling from one era of FPS. It's really pulling from all of them in a way that stands out to me, and it's super memorable.
Would it be hyperbolic to say like this is sort of that like next step in like FPS design, right? Like I talked about it before, right? Bungie isn't necessarily creating subgenres within the FPS, but they're kind of refining them. So Halo didn't invent like the arena shooter. It sort of refined like what we know the modern arena shooter to be, right? And also refining and like kind of like pioneering online and like party chat, things like that, console shooters especially. Destiny 1 and 2 didn't invent the looter shooter, but it again perfected it. And then Marathon isn't inventing like the survival or extraction shooter, but it is kind of pushing the genre forward in meaningful ways. Like,
I think Marathon is actually in a bit of a different place, because I think Arc Raiders actually kind of took the place that Bungie's stuff has in the past, with just like a very like casual friendly version of it that hits with a wide audience, and Marathon hasn't done that. Which is, I think, why Marathon is so interesting to me, because it's kind of very intentionally not designed to be like, well, I mean, it's obviously supposed to be with the amount of money they put into it and everything, but like
it's one of the most hostile
it's
like AAA shooters I've played. I was gonna say hostile AAA games, but it's not a Souls-like, right? Like, I feel like FromSoft is like the gold standard of like, no, if you really want to like not isolate, but if you want to like make something, just make it, right? Marathon's sort of at that level, but you're right, they got to make some concessions because it's a vessel to like make money as like a live service game.
Yeah. Well,
but I still think I think it's like you okay, yeah, like Arc Raiders is the most accessible the genre has been ever. But I think Marathon kind of like toes that line where it's like, no, you want a good console extraction shooter, but that still offers some sort of level of like tension and like hardcore. Like we're kind of refining these formulas, right? Well, like we're this is our stamp on it.
Well, and that's kind of why I was really excited by the season 2 trailer, because like in my head I'm just like, Night Marsh is probably just going to be like a blue filter on Dire Marsh with like a few new UESC enemies or something. They're like, nope, it's going to be pitch black. You need to throw flares to see, and monsters are going to hunt you in the dark. Like, hell yeah. Because the game was too friendly and inviting before. They have to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, have you ever gotten mad at Marathon? You haven't gotten mad enough. Have fun with it. You're not mad enough, like, clearly. Oh, man.
Speaking of, so kind of the other aspect of what I've been playing, I got a new TV over the weekend, so I've actually just been, like, popping in a bunch of stuff and playing sections of games that that visually really impressed me, and that's been really cool.
What's the absolute showstopper so far? Marathon's a nice looking game, I assume.
Marathon's a
TV,
nice looking game, but like, I mean, because of its art style and kind of the way geometry is, it's not like showstopper, but it's very good. I'm excited for Night March on it because it's an OLED, so I'm gonna have the actual pitch black.
What is it? Roblox levels, Halo Forge levels. What is it? All the Redditors and YouTube comments.
But I am excited for Night March because that's going to be like actually pitch black on an OLED, so that'll be fun. But actually, the one that hit me was actually Ghost of Yotei.
Of course, yeah.
Which is like a good looking game, but something just about the way they have like HDR balanced in that game and everything was stunning when I opened it up. And like, this TV is also a lot brighter than my previous one, so like I actually had to turn down the HDR in Marathon because it hurt my eyes because it was overdone. Like it's a little overdone, like with like the max settings of like this panel. But like Ghost of Yotei was one that I just booted up. I'm like, oh, I'll just play this for a few minutes, and I was really, really struck by how good that one looked. But so, I mean, everything's looked so much better.
Of course.
On it.
I remember, like, so the only two OLED screens I've used are my Switch OLED, which I don't have anymore, and my laptop. I don't play games on my laptop directly because it's like a small screen. I have it hooked up to my monitor. But like the Switch OLED, Switch games don't really ever look that great. But like certain ones, like I played all of like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I played that in a mix of handheld and TV mode. Looked incredible in handheld mode. Like obviously that game's very colorful. That game's very like, oh man, Yoshi's Crafted World as well. Like stuff really does, like, there is a difference, right? Like you could tell, like there is a noticeable difference. Like the OLED difference is insane. I mean, I've had friends tell me stuff like Horizon looks insane.
I haven't even got a chance to check that out yet. That's
sure
probably one I'm going to check out too.
Looks great.
I also checked out Modern Warfare 2019 because I think that game still looks really good.
That game looks better than
yeah, it looks better than the newer ones. Like the very
not
first.
Even, no. I was gonna say that game looked better than Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, a game that came out a launch title on the PS5. The PS4 game from the year before it looked better
by a significant margin too. Like not even just a little bit. But like that, the first couple missions in that are like a really good like HDR.
Oh, Clean House must look insane.
Yeah.
Just like, oh man.
And the thing about like this is honestly one of the best purchases I've ever made. So for those that aren't familiar with me, I really am somebody that's always cared a lot about like the visual presentation of movies, accurate presentation of movies and games. Like, and so, but a lot of the TVs I could afford were not accurate. And so this actually, because I actually bought last year's model and this year's models are coming out, plus there's a Memorial Day sale, I had some gift cards. So I actually got this at a very good price that I can actually afford. But like this has been something I have wanted basically my whole life. And I actually have a nice basement set up and like a decent amount of space now, which is kind of like setup I've always wanted to have. For TV stuff. So this is a big deal buying this for me. But I took the time, like I have it set up. I had to go through a bunch of extra steps, but I have it set up for like, so I can play games in filmmaker mode, but also still have the peak brightness of the panel and the low latency of the game mode and everything, which is like nobody else needs to do that. But I took the time to do it, and I'm extraordinarily pleased with doing it. So. Yeah, it is an exciting upgrade for me.
Have I told you about my current setup? Like I'm like here and there, right? Like I've been I'm trying to remember. I bought the DualSense Edge late last year during a Black Friday like sale, right? And I was like getting back into online shooters, specifically Destiny 2, evil game. That's gonna die. Like, everything sucks now. But again, like at that moment, I'm like, oh man, I'm playing a lot of Destiny 2. Maddie, if you're listening, shame on you. So I'm like, oh okay, let me get back into it. I started playing Siege again. That's on me. That's on me. Like,
that is a moral failing, but
that
you
is
understand.
on me. That's on me. I was playing Siege around then, so I'm like, oh, maybe I should upgrade this controller. I was gonna get the other pro controllers, like the third party ones, but I'm like, I'd rather sacrifice an extra back button for like the actual PlayStation one just to like power the thing. Oh, I was playing Black Ops 7 at the time.
Yeah,
also.
that's a thing. Because I actually had a controller it got really bad drift all of a sudden recently.
I had one. Oh my god!
I have gone through.
I had one last year. The first time I ever had drift. And you know how I noticed? I was playing so much Forza Horizon 6, and I would notice, why the hell is my car, like, just steering to the left? Why am I crashing into walls? What is wrong with this? That one, I'm like, oh, no. Like, the only time I ever got stick drift in a controller. It hurt me. Oh, my God.
I've gone through 6 DualSenses.
They're expensive as hell.
Yeah, they're not cheap, and part of it is my cat knocks them off the table all the time, which will do it. But this one had some of the worst drift I've ever had. Like, it would turn me like a full 90 degrees, like every now and then.
Terrible.
But I found like a semi-local electronics place that sells DualSenses with TMR sticks in them. So I ordered one from there, and I will not buy a controller without TMR sticks ever again. They just feel so much smoother. They don't drift. I don't have to worry about it. They use less energy, so the battery life is longer. Just a straight upgrade. It's awesome. It was definitely worth it, and it cost me a little bit less than what actually buying a brand new DualSense would have been. So that was a worthwhile upgrade.
It is funny, like I was saying. So like I got the DualSense and I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go full monitor mode. Right? I want to play stuff in 120 frames. I want to like, I've noticed now like it's so much better for me to kind of sit straight up and look at a screen, like
the lean forward, the lean in.
The memes, right, where I'm like, oh shit, like no, but like this has been the best setup for me, right? Even no matter the kind of game I'm playing, obviously part of me kind of still misses like the allure and the sort of the spectacle and novelty of like, oh, I'm playing a big story driven game, I want to play it on a big TV, right? But I don't know, just something about me being comfortable just kind of like sitting up and looking, and like on my desk that I have all set up nicely. I have my nice big Millennium Falcon mouse pad. I have everything set up here. This is like my battle station. I mean, the Goon Cave is like all set up now.
That's what that's what it comes down to, is just like, what's the most comfortable and satisfying for you? For me, it is sitting on the couch with a decent sized TV. Right. Set up well to my preferences, but that's also like a comfort thing for me. Like I was talking about the controllers. I grew up playing a lot of stuff on PC. It's why I like a lot of these PC shooters from like the late 90s, because that's what I played as a kid. But like as I got older, my wrists, I get extreme wrist pain if I try to play a video game using keyboard and mouse. I have to play with a controller. Like even if I was on PC, I'd be playing with a controller because I just can't play with keyboard and mouse anymore. And also like handhelds are not comfortable for me at all. And also like just the way my brain works, like all the options of a PC thing, like I will not stop adjusting the options. I will not, like I played Star Wars Outlaws recently, and that has like a lot of options for customizing stuff for a console game. And like I literally spent 4 or 5 hours one day just changing settings. Like, so like for me, like gaming on a console, on a decent sized TV, on a couch with a controller, like it takes a lot of those barriers away, so I can actually just sit down and enjoy a game. But
part of me wants a nice, expensive, like powerful rig, but then I'm like, oh my god, nothing beats coming home from work, pressing the PlayStation button on my controller, and then just being in the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like nothing beats that. Like nothing beats that feeling of like it works. It's the same thing with the Steam Deck stuff. So, everyone's like, buy a Steam Deck instead of a Switch 2. The Switch 2 works out of the box. whatever game you get for it, it just turns on. You don't have to like adjust it. How many videos have you seen of like, oh, this game won't run on Steam Deck unless you translate the Bible in Chinese like 4 times, and then you get it running at 45 frames. At 45 frames.
Steam Deck verified is something I'm real skeptical of a lot of the times, because there's a lot of stuff that's verified that should not be.
Like 900p, 25 frames per second. You can play it. You can play it. But yeah, it's comfort, and I talked about that on the pod like before. I've spoken about like, it's not just about why we're playing and like what we're playing. It's sort of how we play that kind of like defines like the context, right? Like it is. I always feel I can't do handheld as much anymore, not because of my wrists or anything. I mean, I have a grip for it, but it's like I feel like it's way too passive for me to like sit in bed playing on my Switch.
Yeah, like also
so
just
really
like
focus.
like laying down in bed and stuff just isn't comfortable way for me to play games. Just not comfortable. Like it's just totally subjective thing like that. But for some people, they talk about like, oh man, I can lay down and play a game now that I have a Steam Deck or a Switch or something, and it opens everything up for them. Like I'm actually kind of jealous of the people that love like the Steam Deck or the Switch as much as they do, because I can't appreciate them in the same way.
I can do it with like Super Nintendo games or 2D indies or like a small scale kind of game, but I'm like, I'm not gonna play Assassin's Creed Shadows in bed. Like that doesn't.
Yeah.
Though lately I've been like, there's a sicko part of me that's like, I want a PS Portal because I don't want to get up from bed, but I want to keep playing something like Diablo.
Yeah.
Because again, my lizard brain craves that.
Can't
craves
stop.
it. What else have you been up to? Because like you have a bunch of movies here too.
Yeah. I usually go to the movies at least once a week. I saw Obsession this past weekend, which was very good. Was really surprised actually at how much I liked it. Because it was one of those ones that you hear a lot of good stuff about, but I'm like, okay, it can't be as good as everybody is saying it is, and it is. So I had a lot of fun with that one. I saw Is God Is, which is very, very good.
That's the Kiki Palmer or Issa. No, or am I thinking of I Love Boosters?
I Love Boosters is Kiki Palmer, I believe.
God Is. No, this is the one. Yeah. Sterling K. Brown, Vivica Fox, Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, Janelle Monáe. Yeah.
Oh.
It's cool. And like I remember watching it, I'm like, this kind of feels staged like a play, and then it turns out it's based off of a play. It's based off of a play, and the playwright actually wrote the screenplay of it, which is cool.
That's crazy.
I dug that movie a lot. Not many people are seeing it, unfortunately. I tried to tell people about it, and they can't like parse what the title is when I try to tell them, but it's good. I really enjoyed that one.
Cool. I'll go through.
I've not gotten to Mandalorian and Grogu yet.
Hey, don't. It's fine. Listen, I'll go into my stuff. Let me start with Mandalorian and Grogu because I haven't had a place to talk about it because I'm in a weird spot right now where, what is it? I'm going to the gym every day. Doing a bunch of stuff to take care of myself. So naturally, I want to take care of my mental health, right? I don't want to be negative or angry all the time. I watched The Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters, and the first thing I felt and thought was, we were all too harsh on Rise of Skywalker. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau need to be arrested or tried for some crime. This is like the worst. I need you to understand, this is bad. I'm this angry. I liked the show. I watched all 3 seasons of the show before this, and even the worst parts of that show weren't enough to kind of deter me from the overall quality. I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. Yes, there's too much fan service in a way that's who is this for? It's it's meant for kids who grew up in the late 2000s watching Clone Wars, but it's also using the original trilogy aesthetics. So where does that leave me? Someone who never watched the Clone Wars, and also someone who likes the original trilogy, but also isn't married to any specific their era. I don't prequel nostalgia me. This shit takes place 20 years after everything happened. Why do we have battle droids roaming around?
It was really
going on?
It was really funny when I was watching Book of Boba Fett, and like there's the big reveal of Cad Bane at the end of one of the
Cad
episodes.
Bane, who
And, like-
Boba
and, like-
Fett was like 10 years old when Cad Bane was like like what is going on? And then fat and bald Tamora Morrison.
I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett. I don't care. I enjoyed it. But like, yeah, well, that reveal, I'm like, I couldn't remember who it was. I'm like, I've seen this character before, but like, and like, I have watched Star Wars as long as I can remember, and I can't remember who that character is.
Have you tried being 8 years old in 2010? Maybe if you did that would have helped you a little bit.
I was out of college in 2010.
It's such a bizarre, like, Book of Boba Fett is definitely so Mandalorian season 1, excellent, solid, like,
Yeah, season 1's good.
Lone Wolf and Cub show. Season 2 dives into a lot of the problems I have with it, but it's still not that bad. There are like some good moments. Bill Burr, him having his sort of redemption. Bill Burr is good in the show, but it also bothers me that Bill Burr is just talking like Bill Burr in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before, and I hate beating a dead horse, but it's like Star Wars doesn't know what it wants to be anymore, right? Does it want to appeal to like everybody, but it also wants to do some interesting things? But also, why do we have these big celebrities playing characters? It's too distracting. Why does everything?
I don't know if I'd call Bill Burr a big celebrity.
Well, he's a face.
Yeah,
Ryan
we
Gosling
know who
doing
he
a
is.
Star Wars movie. Ryan Gosling doing a Star Wars movie is too distracting for me. Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka is too distracting. Or getting these random cameos, it's distracting in a way where it's like, okay, I'm kind of taken out of the world. Book of Boba Fett isn't great, but I don't hate it as much as I will give a lot of grace to Boba Fett and anything Boba Fett related. I paid for the Destiny 2 cosmetics. I created a hunter just to get the Boba Fett cosmetics. I will give grace to this character, right? Like,
Yeah.
I will, and the show is whatever. Season 3 of Mandalorian was fine. There are like a lot of stupid, again, why is there weird prequel nostalgia when this show takes place at after the end of Return of the Jedi? Why are we still on it's literally the Japanese soldier who thinks World War II is still going on. Like,
Yeah,
levels of like,
Just some battle droid that thinks the Clone Wars never ended.
there's a spoiler alert for Mandalorian season 3. Don't watch it. Who cares? Christopher Lloyd plays a separatist, like, loyalist. And we're like, what is this dude doing? Like, he couldn't be like into the Empire. Like, he could have just be like a really big, like, that would have made more sense. If you're still a separatist loyalist, that's lame as hell, dude. It's like being a Confederate, like a really weird Confederate guy now. Like, okay. Anyway, Mandalorian Grogu sucked. It's barely a movie. It's just a very lazy sort of like excuse to put on screen. I know that they kind of had to. I think it's like after the strike, they're like, let's try to recoup our cost and like combine season 4 into like this movie. It's whatever. I don't know what a Zeb whatever is. I don't know who this like weird CGI guy voiced by Steve Bloom is. I don't know anything.
It's had Scorsese in it, so can't be all bad.
I hope he got paid a lot of money. I hope he got paid a lot of money.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
I have this weird maternal, and I said maternal, not paternal, maternal instinct to protect little Grogu. I love him so much. I will die for that puppet. I will die whenever I have a doll that coos whenever you click its stomach, and I love it more than like life itself. I will protect that baby. Everything else sucks. Road of the fucking Hutt speaks English. He speaks English. He doesn't speak Huttese. That pissed me off. I'm like, and no, it's not English. Sorry, it's basic. That's what they call it in the Star Wars universe.
It's basic.
But stupid. I hate Star Wars sometimes. Speaking of Star Wars, I've been playing a lot of the Old Republic, the MMO.
Nice.
PC gamer.
Nice.
So I'm treating it like a single player game because it doesn't have a lot of that grind that like a normal MMO does.
It's solo.
Not really
it's pretty solo friendly from what I've heard.
It's literally a BioWare game, which is crazy. Like, it's a BioWare-ass BioWare game. You just see other players. So I'm playing as a bounty hunter. I'm playing, like, full dark side, kind of like role-playing as Boba Fett. I bought Mandalorian armor in it, too. And I'm really enjoying it because I'm in this mood right now where single-player games, big AAA story-driven games aren't really sticking for me. So if I find something, I want to latch onto it, right? So I'm, like, trying to optimize, like, all my free time. Not my free time, my sort of games in a way that's like I don't burn out because I don't want to play anything major or new before the new, like, what is it, the Assassin's Creed remake is out, right? So it's like I'm a month removed from it.
Yeah, that's what in a few weeks.
July 9th.
Oh, July 9th. Okay, so it's a month and a half ish.
Nothing big coming out really interests me, right? I kind of already said that Forza
Bond looks cool.
Bond looks cool, but I'm in a mood right now where none of the big AAA stuff is like calling to me, and plus I'll rent it eventually at work, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll hold off. Like the only major game I want to play is Forza, but I'm going to be patient because I will be rewarded for my patience at some point when it comes to PS5, an actual console, because I will not use my Xbox Series S.
Your Series S,
nasty machine. I was close to just kind of like popping in, like, you know, getting Game Pass and then like dipping, but no. But Old Republic is fun. It's a solid like single player RPG. I'm slowly getting used to WASD movement and mouse stuff. I love clicking. I love like the attacks and everything like that. It does feel like the evolution of like KOTOR, Mass Effect, just in a big open world. It's like the only Star Wars game that makes me feel like I'm existing in a world rather than just kind of spectating the story.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Outlaws kind of felt like that.
Yeah,
but this is like the true like, no, you're in Star Wars. You are a part of this.
Yeah, that was kind of my favorite thing about Outlaws, was actually just wandering around, especially like the like populated areas, like the recreation of like the locales was really cool.
Outlaws is like the closest you're gonna get to like a Red Dead Star Wars, like that level of like sort of like, here's a very detailed touristy, like you're in like this universe, right? Like you know Tatooine, right? You know all these planets, you know all these locales, you know all these elements like visually. So here's a recreation of it, kind of like the Avatar game they made.
Yeah, I mean, same team. I actually played Outlaws and the newest DLC and all the DLCs for Avatar back to back.
Hell yeah.
The DLCs for Avatar are actually really good.
I was about to say you got massive pilled, but that sounds horrible. But yes. Last game I'll talk about real quick so we can get into like the main topic. Almost an hour into this podcast is I've been playing so much Diablo 4. It's crazy. I am in this sort of like loot mode, this sort of dopamine infused, like I just need stuff. I want to click on stuff and get stuff. I want to make my number go up. I want purple. I want gold. Like things like that. Yeah. I'm sort of at that level, right? I took a break from Destiny 2 for a bit because I kind of exhausted everything I finished all the campaigns. I kept getting dogged on in Crucible. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Dude, I'm terrible in Crucible. Like, it's
terrible.
I've played.
Oh my god!
And I played Destiny. I've played Destiny since the closed alpha of Destiny 1, and I'm terrible at Crucible.
It wasn't until you guys told me like how much like physics play into it and like positioning. I'm like, oh okay, I'm never gonna get good.
Iron Man. I never did. Iron Man.
So I took a break because I'm like, surely they're gonna announce something that'll get me back in, so I could, have a reason to go back. I
guess they did.
You know what? I was talking to Maddie about it, and it's funny how like this sort of end of life thing is like the most complete the game will feel, because they're throwing a bunch of stuff at me where it's like, oh, I have like clear goals now. I can just go back and replay stuff to get better loot.
Yeah, like we're gonna give that game a good send off.
Oh, I'm excited.
I feel it.
I'm excited. So Diablo 4 is pretty much that. I finished the new expansion last night. What I did was I played through it once for like the seasonal stuff, right? So I just wanted to grind, get good gear. I skipped all the story stuff because my plan is to play through all the campaigns sequentially, like as another character, just to kind of keep. But this was just me playing to get to the end game. I'm going to take a break because Path of Exile 2's new season starts on Friday.
Oh yeah,
and I want to like
for some variety's sake, take a break from Diablo to play Path of Exile.
Like I'm telling you, it's bad. Like this is the only kind of game I want to play now. Like I need numbers. I need like roguelikes, ARPGs, loot shooters. Like this is where I'm at, right? And it's just like I've always wanted that kind of game that I go back to and kind of check on, or like just kind of keep. And it's fun. Look, this is terrible, but like I have my desk set up. I have a little iPad, so I watch hour-long video essays while playing these loot games, and I'm like the happiest I've been because I come home, I'm exhausted from work. I got to get up early to go to the gym and then go back to work, start out. This is like me, right? I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the entire world. I'm at the happiest I've ever been. Just like going all in on these loot games.
Nice. No, I mean, Marathon's kind of been like that for me. And like Destiny has been a few different points in my life. Like, I mean, a couple of years ago, actually, like right around when Final Shape came out, like I was doing bad. Like things were not going well for me. But I'd get home and I'd boot up Destiny and I'd play with my clan. And it was like the bright spot while everything else was falling apart. And it was really cool. And I'm never going to separate it from that. And that was just a couple years ago. Like, I'd been playing Destiny for a decade at that point. But, like, that was the most it ever meant to me, was at that point.
It's become a thing where it's like that. Like, let me lead into like the main discussion real quick, the main question, because it kind of falls into this. So, you know, my essential question is, you and I talk a lot about you and I talk a lot about video games in general, right? Like just the genres we play and things like that. What would you say defines like you as far as game genres go? And the reason I asked that is because this show is a lot about like comfort games, repetition, and how we sort of interact with the medium as a whole. So what's Justin's like defining video game genre and why?
I mean, like FPSs have just been like a huge part of gaming for me. Like, I love a lot of other genres, but I don't love them in the same way I love like a good FPS. Like I think that's the genre I'm actually probably the only genre that I feel like really qualified in talking about like the deeper mechanics and the controls and just general design. It's one of the only genres I actually kind of desire a bit of challenge in. Like, I don't mind challenge in others. I played Elden Ring. I beat Millennia. Like, I could deal with hard games, but like there's something special about like playing Doom Eternal on ultra violence.
Right, yeah.
Like, just the flow state that I get into playing those sorts of games. It's so exciting. And like, you know, Marathon has been kind of a cool new dimension to that. Destiny's always been that. Seiros isn't first person, but it kind of had the same kind of like flow and fast pace as like Doom Eternal. And got me into like that like mental flow state. That was really cool. And it's also a genre that I feel can be really malleable and do a lot of different things. You know, I have a real soft spot for like immersive sims, which have never been super popular, but like those are really special for me. And those almost feel like a separate genre, even though a lot of them are FPSs. Right. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of really cool stuff you could do with that genre. And like one of my favorite things in games is just, and it's why part of the reason why I love first person games as much as I do, is just the sense of going to a place and the sensation of moving through a place when you're in first person is really exciting to me and really cool. And it's something that sticks with me differently than it does in third person games. Like, and I love third person games too, especially like I'm a big fan of like in-game animation. Like, I love watching like third person characters move and things like that. But there's something special about my relationship like with the world when I'm playing a first person game that I think is really cool.
I think, yeah, we talked about it earlier, where it's like you know, I mean, I played a lot of shooters with you. It's like the genre that sort of like defines, I think, our friendship, because I mean, most great online games are FPS games, right? Like, that's usually like the way it's been for like ever. And yeah, I've always associated, because you know, it's not just like the modern side. It's not just the Call of Duties or the Battlefield. It's also like, you know, you have a lot of reverence and respect for like the Night Dive stuff. that they've been doing.
Yeah, like I love Night Dive stuff. Their stuff is really exciting.
Bolt Gun, right?
Bolt Gun, yeah, Bolt Gun was great.
It's a modern boomer shooter.
Yeah,
that's like it's things like that, and again, it's like single player stuff, multiplayer stuff. Like I played in, like again you.
I played Industria recently, which is this it's a German game that's a lot like kind of like a mashup of like BioShock and Half-Life.
I've seen this. Yeah,
it's set like it's like these scientists go into like an alternate dimension, like on the eve of the fall of the Berlin Wall. It's really cool. It's not very long, but it was a neat game. And like stuff like that, I really enjoy and appreciate.
I respect that. I always think like, so my genres, I guess it's hard to pinpoint because I kind of like go through moods, but I always thought like my two are always platformers and like racing games. Like those are my two, right?
Yeah.
I always think like that's like and then shooters. It's funny. I always feel like I'm not qualified to talk about FPS games because I don't play single player ones. I always prefer multiplayer ones. But
see, I am a big single player FPS guy too. Like,
right.
I mean, we've been talking about a lot of multiplayer ones. Like, obviously, I'm not shying away from multiplayer games, but like, I do really, really appreciate when we get good single player,
of course,
shooters, which are becoming rarer and rarer.
But I always feel like again, like my lane's always been competitive stuff. I always feel like I'm like the wrong person to like talk about shooters, but I still love shooters. I love Doom. Like I love Destiny, right? As a shooter, it's like near perfect. Like it is like Mount Rushmore stuff, right? I love the Far Cry games. I'm a very big Far Cry fan. Like I love the way those games like play. Even like the Bethesda stuff. I know they're not technically shooters, but again, they're mostly played in first person, and stuff like Fallout and Starfield, you're using guns.
Yeah. Well, recently, like Avatar is actually something that got me really thinking about like like the different relationship that I have with first person games, because like so many people had wished that it was a third person game, and like the DLC you could play it in first person, but the like latest DLC was kind of designed around third person. And so I played it in third person because that's kind of what it was intended to be. Where I'd played the rest of the game in first person. And there's actually that game does some really cool stuff with first person that I think actually like enhances a lot of the theming, because it's an Avatar game, but like you are actually a Na'vi. Like you are not a human in a Na'vi's body. But by making it a first person game, you're kind of like recreating the sensation of it. But it also allowed them to do some really good stuff, I think, with like the colonialization side of things. And like, because you are an actual Na'vi, like you are not somebody that is interfering. Like you are one of these people, fighting off the humans that are invading. But like it does some really cool stuff with perspective. Like the humans are tiny compared to you. Like you have to like turn the stick a certain way to move your hand and like pick a fruit like to gather for stuff. And it actually felt like you were learning how to use your hands and like how to actually survive in the wilderness. And just like a lot of really cool stuff that I think was really enhanced from the first person presentation. And actually, if you do play that latest DLC in third person, like it even kind of has a good explanation for why it's in third person.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because like your created character is, you create a character for the main game, and then like the first two DLCs. The third DLC is one of the other NPCs, and you actually interact with your created character as the other one. So like the move to third person kind of works because it's not your character anymore. I don't know. That game, I think...
I got it. It's like
that game I think is really... I think there's some cool stuff, and like the game's not great. I enjoyed it, but it's not great. But I think there's some really cool stuff and some extra thought put into it that it definitely doesn't get credit for, and I think is interesting to like dissect.
I gotta play it again. I gotta play all the DLC too.
The DLCs are good.
Yeah, I've heard great. I've heard that game's just gotten better. It's that classic Ubisoft sort of like, they'll improve the game. Like look at Star Wars Outlaws. I haven't played in forever, and now it's like good.
Yeah, I played it after like all the DLCs and were out and updates and stuff. So I don't really know how it changed over time, but I enjoyed it.
So in my case, it's like I'm in a spot now where for the longest time I've always been kind of bored with big AAA games, and again, this, like I've played nothing but like racing games, occasionally sports games, and then platformers. Now I guess now ARPGs are like the thing to kind of like. I have like a bunch of games, these grindy games, roguelikes, dungeon crawlers, MMOs, or things of that ilk. Like that's sort of me branching out in a weird way, because I just don't know what to play. Like I know that I want to play Assassin's Creed when that comes out, but it's like the whole genre conversation is like, now I'm at a point where it's like, what do I do? Like what am I doing, right? And that's sort of been like what this pod and like the blog post have been about. It's sort of like me like kind of like discovering like, okay, well, there's kind of more than like a lane. Who knows? I'll get over this in like a couple of years. I go through sessions and seasons.
Yeah.
Right? Like I am.
Well, that's always kind of. I think that's always kind of a cool thing to examine too. Is just like, hey, what am I in the mood for right now? Why is this resonating with me more now than it did at another point? Like, I appreciate platformers way more now than I did when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, that was like the heyday of platformers. There were so many.
The genre, right?
Yeah, and I wasn't particularly into them. Like I played them and I enjoyed them, but like I didn't, I wasn't particularly enthused by them. And then recently, it's like something clicked, and I really appreciate that genre differently. Like I like Mario a lot more now than I did when I was a kid, and like it's been kind of fun to interrogate that and try to understand why. I don't 100% know yet, but it's a cool thing to think about. It's interesting for like why, and like I talked about Marathon a lot, but like it is kind of easy for me to parse like, hey, why is this resonating with me?
Why is the sci-fi bungee shooter resonating with you? I wonder why.
Well, it also just narrative theming and
right, yeah, of course,
and so much of that stuff like that I think is really interesting.
Me, lately, it's like I want gameplay, right?
Yeah,
like I care about mechanics. I care about gameplay. I think I'm still chasing. A big thing is like I played like 40, 50 hours of Death Stranding 2. I didn't finish it, but I can confidently tell you this is like a near perfect video game.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2 is great.
Because it does the thing I wanted to do. It's letting me play the game how I want to play it. It is Phantom Pain. It's the closest thing to Phantom Pain I've gotten since Phantom Pain. So now I'm at a point where it's like, what are the kinds of games I want to play? Why do I want to play games that are focused on... It's like pure gameplay stuff. Like Diablo, especially Diablo 4, it's not deep, right? It's not a very deep game. You're just killing monsters and killing demons and like getting loot. But there's just something about like it's that, what I'm doing in that game sort of matters and sort of like gives me something. I'm becoming the most powerful thing in the world. I'm doing, and yeah, sure, I'm doing it for like a seasonal thing. I'm doing it for like the MMO aspect, but it's still fun. Star Wars: The Old Republic, I talked about. I exist in that world. Like I am a part of that world. I'm not just simply a spectator. And I think a lot of games kind of like Death Stranding 2 does that really well, where it's like, no, I'm not just watching cutscenes. I am affecting the larger part of the world. Red Dead 2, I'm not just watching cutscenes. I am in that world, right? Even to a lesser extent, stuff like Avatar, you're a Na'vi.
Yeah.
Like you're actually, that the first person aspect of it, the sort of like the little interactions, like the fruit stuff, like you're pulling fruit in a specific way or you're skinning animals in a specific way. to fully immerse yourself. I think that's sort of what I've been looking for, right? And I guess that's why a lot of like major game, I think that's why I've been leaning towards like RPGs specifically.
Yeah,
because it's like, okay, I can build myself in a specific way or talk to people in a certain way. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, kind of what you were just getting at is like it's something it was actually kind of funny. Just like I've had weird conversations with like this Resident Evil hyper fans in the last few months, because like I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, but I apparently have nothing in common with the people that are like Resident Evil fans, with how I identify the games or why I love them and stuff. And it's been something weird that I've been like kind of interrogating and stuff. And like for them, like those games are really defined by the characters, which for me, like I like the characters, but like they're not special. They're not like I enjoy seeing Leon, I enjoy seeing Chris, I enjoy seeing Jill, but like they're not like strong characters I really care about. Resident Evil for me is vibes. It's the location. It's the feel. It's its malleability to kind of fit into any genre of horror that you might want to take. And I think that's really cool. That's a really neat thing. And, you know, it's apparently very different than what a lot of people associate with Resident Evil. And like it kind of just got me interrogating like, hey, like, what is like the lens I'm looking at games through when I play them? And, you know, I kept coming back to, and I mentioned this earlier, just like the sense of feeling like you went to a place. It's something that's really special for me, and it's something that other mediums can't do in the same way that games can. And just like being able to feel like you visited, and you not only got to get a sense of, you know, what the creators were thinking when they made this, like you got to see it, you got to hear it, you got to interact with it. It's not just trying to fill in the blanks based off of a description that you get, or, you know, a couple things that are framed a certain way, like in the camera, like you can see the whole thing.
I remember when I first played Gran Turismo 7, and the first thing I described about that game was it understands the emotional connection you have to a car, like better than most games. Kind of, you know, what is it? Most games kind of force you to have emotional connections via like dialogue or story. Like that's the language they use. But something like Gran Turismo 7 is no. You're going to like the language here is gameplay. The language here is like a physical sort of thing, right? That's what the medium is to me. The medium is an art form, despite what, you know, like the discourse and everything, despite the sort of monetized nature of it. The medium's an art form, but not for the reason you think, right? It's not just because a lot of games now tell really big, great stories. They have this Hollywood production and everything. It's because at the end of the day, you sit down and you're in the world, you're interacting in some way. Tony Hawk is telling a story through its gameplay. I always said that. It's like it's part of the art. Like that movement is part of the art.
I mean, Tony Hawk's
Mario.
Like Tony Hawk's like totally selling a vibe too. Like it is exactly. Like it's portraying a specific like subculture, and like especially people my age, like so many people have like developed so much of their music tastes through being exposed to it in Tony Hawk, and like that is a part of the story that those games are trying to play.
How many stories do you read about like athletes who grew up playing like Madden or 2K, and that sort of warping, like, no, this is how, right, this is like sort of what my personality, what I will become in some way, right? Like that Madden documentary, I guess it's kind of propaganda for EA, but it's still like one of those things where it's like, no, these are players who are like, I remember playing Madden 04 or Madden 05 on PS2, and then like Michael Vick being like this unstoppable demon, because again, that's like the art. It's the art of like the way like the game makes you feel because you're playing it. And I think that's such a special thing that people kind of don't get at the root, right? It seems like every major game now that we kind of label or throw as art is usually a narrative based, but it's never like, we never kind of dissect. No. This is a interactive medium. Like this is like a big part of it is like you kind of have to like get a feel for it in some way.
Yeah. And like going off of that, like, it's why like I've seen it in a lot of like critic circles, like criticizing games that are going for high end visuals for various reasons. There's kind of a misappropriation that like that's responsible for budgets ballooning. That alone would, when people in the industry have said many times, it's far from the only reason. But like the games are a visual medium, and I think the way developers not only place things, but the way they decide how they decide to portray them is really fascinating to me. And it can be really stylized. It can be very realistic. And I think examining that too is really fascinating. Like just from like a visual the visual standpoint, and like how the visuals mix with the sound and what it's supposed to convey to you as a player, and how that, how that thing in the world interacts with your character and what it can mean and what it means to the world around it. I think that stuff's fascinating.
Yeah, it's the same thing with movies. It's like people criticize stuff like Avatar for being shallow, and it's like that it's just about visuals. But I think, well, part of it is, it's a visual medium, right? You need something good to look. I mean, the story's really good too. There's a lot going on there, but obviously the argument is, oh, it just looks nice. So I'm like, yeah, film's visual. A lot of the best movies like know how to look good, right? Or are shot really well. Look at like a lot of like modern movies now are like shot like TV shows, or shot like with like again, no one knows how to compose shots. No one knows how to like put together. No one knows how to pre-visualize things like that. Where it's
and like you watch like the Batman, and there's like the shots where Batman's like on the roof with Catwoman, and they're like looking at the sunset over Gotham, and those scenes look fantastic, and they're filmed on the volume. But like if you look at like a lot of like the Star Wars TV shows that are also filmed using the volume, they look very different and they look a lot flatter. And like there's a lot of teams that just have not been able to really learn the tools. And part of it is just because of, like how Hollywood drives teams, and especially like VFX teams and stuff. But like there's a big difference between when you see somebody that's really taken the time to learn and make efficient use of their tools versus those that haven't had that opportunity. And it stands out, and it's something that you appreciate. This is a bit of a tangent, but I think it fits with kind of what we're saying. I watched The Villainous recently. A Korean action movie, really good. And the opening scene is so cool, and like it's a crazy action scene. Anybody that watches it can appreciate it, but like knowing what I know about filmmaking, I actually appreciated it all that much more, because like this was probably hard as hell to shoot. I'm like, how did they pull this off? And like it made an awesome scene even cooler. Like I like that I know a little bit about how games work and how game visuals work, especially. I know a bit how movies work. Because when you dig into that stuff a little bit, I think, and you realize like, oh, they did something that's very difficult and made it look easy. There's just something to being able to appreciate stuff on that level that I think is really cool. And it's really exciting. And I think some of that sort of thing is getting lost in a lot of modern criticism, and it kind of bums me out.
It is. It is a bummer. It's so funny though. Like this all kind of stemmed from like genre, and I feel like that sort of like idea of like genre like lends itself perfectly to this conversation too. I mean, how many times have you seen online? I get it. I hate bringing up discourse. I bring up news in general because it's not like what the show's about. But it's like the marathon discussion. It's an extraction shooter. That genre is fundamentally hard to like, or you can't like it. You can't have anything meaningful out of it. Well, you're wrong, because clearly we are.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I love racing games. I love sports games. I think those are meaningful, right? Quick story. Like I was getting a haircut. My barber asked what I did for fun, and I told him, oh, I watch movies, I play video games, and it kind of like shot up, and he was like, yo, like, do you play Madden? Do you play college football? And we talked about that like the whole time I got my cut. That's a big thing. That's like a connection, right?
Yeah.
That's like a big like sort of like that's how powerful like the sort of like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Because people will kind of radiate off that. Like, I always like to think that like if I talk enough about something, it's because I like it enough and I really want that to like, what's the word? I want that to show in some way.
Yeah. And
right.
And that also kind of gets at, something else I've spent a lot of time like kind of dissecting modern audiences and stuff recently, just because it's the first point in my life where I've actually really started to feel old. Like, I am disconnected from a lot of people and what they're looking for. And one thing I kind of pinpointed is there's been kind of a loss of curiosity towards a medium as a whole these days. And you don't get like that spider web of connection that you used to. And I really want to try to like find ways to spark that in people again. Like, hey, if you liked this movie, you should check this out because I think you'd like it. I think it has something that builds on what you appreciate about this other movie. Like, sorry, I'm not explaining this well.
No, but I get it. It's that thing where it's like, yeah, why is everyone so angry? Why is everyone so closed off, right? Like, and look, I get it. A big part of the podcast is like comfort stuff, comfort games, comfort zones, which totally valid. You want to stay in the comfort zone when things are hard. I literally I just explained for like the last hour how I've retreated to that, right? I'm watching like hour and a half long video essays about Star Wars lore while I play like ARPGs because that's comfortable at the moment, right? I don't want to challenge myself because of the state of mind that I'm in. But it's important to kind of branch out or to kind of have a sort of like curiosity. My least favorite thing online, and again, I guess this is me, like my Bill Burr rant, but it's that thing where it's like, I will say I like something and the reply is immediately, I don't like that, rather than oh, that didn't work for me, let's talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about Bungie games. Like, you mention a Bungie game and people are just going to start writing essays as if you're Pete Parsons and you personally like were trying to wrong them over the years. It's like, man, I don't care. I played this game and I had fun.
They'll tell you like, but Destiny's actually bad and it's like they made mistakes and I'm like,
it's like trying to convince you didn't actually enjoy it.
It's like my favorite was I would tweet about how much I loved Assassin's Creed 3 because it meant a lot to me because that game my partner loves. So it's a connection I have.
Yeah.
And the first thing people will tell me is, that game's actually bad. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh,
years and years of an emotional connection with a person I love. No, sorry, it's bad.
Well, and one thing I think also is like, especially like when talking about movies, is like there's this weird like straw man film bro kind of thing where like everybody just assumes you're going to recommend something that's garbage. And it's like, I like weird stuff and fun stuff. Like, I'm not going to recommend you a movie that I don't think you're going to enjoy. It's a weird thing I've been encountering more and more recently. Like, it's like, no, if I give you a suggestion, it's because I think it's something you'd have fun with or get something out of. Yeah,
it's a weird time we live in.
It's just strange.
There's no nuance. There's no sense of.
Well,
there's also hot takes.
Well, there's also like a big sense of people don't want to. Like, if they don't like something, they will feel like they have wasted their time, and like that's the worst thing that could happen. And so I think that's part of the reason why people aren't willing to give things shots, but it's also part of the reason that things are failing is because people aren't giving things a shot.
It's either, like, if you don't think you'll like something, valid, right?
Oh, yeah.
But, like, let's have the conversation then. Let's sort of, like, it's a video game. It's a movie. It's not I've always been of the mindset where it's like, obviously disagree on everything but politics, right? What is it? Everyone will tell you, oh, you shouldn't hate on someone for having a political opinion, but God forbid I like the first-person shooter developed by Bungie, and I'm the asshole, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's something I don't know how to solve it. Like, but I kind of want to bring appreciation for the mediums back, like film, TV, games, like whatever you're into. I don't know. I want to find ways to get people to explore.
I think
in like natural ways, not just like, algorithmic suggestions or things like that.
I think video games are in a spot where they can never grow into anything other than what they are because of a bunch of different factors. Big studios obviously aren't giving game shots. Fans, gamers, everyone can't have a normal conversation.
Yeah.
About video games. It is funny. It's like, and I am kind of exaggerating, but it's also true. How much discourse was there on Blue Sky the last 3 weeks about some BS? I always log in and I'm like, what are we talking about?
Somebody tried to start up Breath of the Wild weapon degradation discussions again the other day.
I like that. Let's bring back 2016, 2017 arguments. All right, let's bring up the IGN review score for Uncharted 4 again. Let's bring that back. Let's recycle. What is it? Let's recycle the the Make America Great Again slogan in Wolfenstein 2 discourse back. What else can we do? What else can we chalk up? It's that's ridiculous. It's again, I think people just looking for reasons to complain. It's that thing you said. If I don't like something, if you don't like something, it's the most offensive thing in the world if someone else likes it.
Yeah. Yeah, and also things can just be fine sometimes. It was okay.
That's fine. Things can be anything. I think that's the main, right? That's sort of where we're getting at, where it's this new Bond game getting really good reviews. Awesome, right? I'm not in a rush to play it. I'll probably like it. Maybe I'll hate it. I don't know. But who cares if everyone else liked? That's the thing. Who cares? Who cares? Does it bother you so much that the publication is giving it a score? It's just the most bizarre thing in the world that again we can't have a normal conversation about video games. We can't.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party can write "fuck you" in a reply, in a tweet reply. Everyone shits their pants. But the second someone says they like the weapon degradation in Breath of the Wild, that's the World War III. That's the same thing. That's the same level of discourse right there.
Yeah, and of course the correct answer to that is Breath of the Wild's bad, but weapon degradation is the least of its problems.
There we go. That's a good place to stop. Real quick, what are you looking forward to? What's coming up on the horizon that you're excited for?
Obviously look forward to Marathon Season 2. Talked about that a bit. Seeing Backrooms this weekend. Looking forward to that. Hearing good things. I want to get to I Love Boosters soon. Love Boots Riley, so definitely want to see his latest movie. Other than that, I'm kind of just honestly work has had a lot of stuff that I'm kind of just taking it 1 week at a time with movie releases and things like that.
I feel you.
What about you? What are you looking forward to?
I talked about Path of Exile too. I'm excited to play it because I got it, but I haven't touched it because the new season was starting. I'm like, okay, I'll wait till I can play fresh, right? The main thing though, I'm getting a review unit for these Nintendo Switch to Joy-Con grips called the MoboPad, which is basically Joy-Con replacements. They're chunkier and it kind of makes your thing the Switch look like a Steam Deck. So it's not like the Nitro Deck where you insert the Switch into it and it connects via Bluetooth. These connect into the Joy-Con slots.
Oh, that's cool.
Via the magnets. So it's the current technology.
Oh, that's
so I'm
neat.
waiting on those to get here because I love handheld mode on this one. I like handheld mode despite its problems, but I am I prefer playing on handheld mode because that's the appeal, right?
Yeah.
So this is a cool thing because it's gonna make it feel like a proper handheld, a properly comfortable thing to hold in my hand. Other than that, like I said, it's like, what is it? Bond looks fine. I want to play Soros, but I haven't played Returnal, and I'm in the mood for like bullet hell, roguelikes, loot game. Like that seems like and it's a sci-fi game. That seems like the perfect.
If you do play those, I would love to talk to you about those, because those games are really cool. I like them a lot. And I think, like, even though the overall stories that they tell are decently well worn, like cosmic horror stuff, like there's a lot of thought put into the theming and the gameplay of them that I think is really cool. And like really fast action games don't usually even attempt it, and I think it's something that Housemarque deserves a lot of credit for.
I've been playing, you know what, if you like shooters, I recommend you ever played Deadlink?
No.
It's a first-person roguelike, like a cyberpunky one. It's level-based. It's very fun. Like, it's look it up when you get a chance. It plays like Doom 2016.
Oh,
it's
cool.
like that sort of like very fast-paced, and I love the aesthetic. But yeah, so I'm still in a weird funk with the game. I'm gonna focus on Old Republic and like my current. I've been playing Overwatch again too, so I'm looking forward to keep playing that.
Oh, nice. I haven't played Overwatch
like
since like 2017 or something.
Excuse me. The thing with Overwatch, it's I go through moods with shooters. I tried Marvel Rivals and I'm like, this game is too sweaty. So let me go to Overwatch, right, which is pretty sweaty also.
Here's the thing. I'm terrible at like those kind of hero shooters. Like I can't keep, like, it's so much to learn for every individual character that they're just really overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
And so like
you can tell it's built for a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
like specifically you have to be able to use your hand like for every button at once.
Well, like people, like the nicest people I know play like Overwatch, and they like are just destroying people in chat that like are not keeping up, and it's like I'm so self-conscious about how I would perform in those games, and like ridiculous. How much to learn it that like I have not been able to like really get into one and appreciate it. Like I love hearing my friends talk about them, and like I love the Marvel Rivals designs because I've always been a big fan of like, you know, comic character designs over the years, right. And I think there's some really neat designs in Marvel Rivals. Like I like the art style a lot, but like I'm not good at the game. I've played it a few times and I'm real bad. So
I think with Overwatch specifically, it's just a very fun game. Like I think fundamentally that's where I'm at with it, because Rainbow Six Siege and Overwatch are the same exact game. Fundamentally, they're both hero shooters just with different coats of paint. Siege is just way more stressful, and the time to kill is like insane. Overwatch is it's a little more casual, but you could invest a lot of time into like playing it seriously. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm just kind of like going with the flow. Man, the sicko part of me is like at some point I will sub to World of Warcraft. And you won't hear from me just so I could like focus on that for a little bit.
Oh, that's
yeah, like that's sort of where I've been at, right? I want the grind. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. Like, I want.
This is going to sound like a joke, but I promise you it is true. I have had several people that are like, hey, I'm going to sign up for World of Warcraft. And then I literally never heard from them again.
Oh, dog. That's crazy. You know what? It's funny because my partner would ask, why don't you replay something like Red Dead or Phantom Pain if you like those games so much, right? And I told her, you wouldn't hear from me ever again. Like, there's no way I could replay all of Phantom Pain right now and maintain, like, my relationships, my social life, my work, school. I can't do it. World of Warcraft is funny because it's like I'm a big man. I'm just going off, but look, if you've listened to the show or like read my Blue Sky post, I'm into lore now. Like that's what I want to read. I want universes. I want to like really like dive into something. That's why I love the Old Republic, because I've been obsessed with that era of Star Wars since I was young. So I'm like looking up like all these universes with good lore. I've been reading the Halo books. I'm into the Halo, like I'm deep in the trenches with this shit. Like I don't think I read the first Diablo book and it sucked, and I'm gonna read the other ones.
There's Diablo books?
Yes, yeah, dude. Right after Diablo 2, there is a book called Diablo Legacy of Blood. That's the one I read. I had to like special order that from like a different library system because we didn't have
it. the gamer library system.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It doesn't get put in normal libraries.
I've been like, I'm reading like old EU book, like Star Wars EU books. Like that's what I'm reading. I didn't mention it today. I'm reading Shatterpoint by Matthew Stover. It's a Mace Windu like Clone Wars era book. I'm like all in on like these like universes, right? Because that's where I'm at, and I've been like reading a bunch of stuff. Warcraft has like this lore that's I read the Warhammer books, like a few of them. Like again,
I was gonna say, I'm like, oh, you read the Warhammer books?
I read all
like
Heresy,
700 books.
What was it? Were they good? No.
I remember like a couple years back, like when I was like, there was like a 6-month period where I absorbed like nothing but Warhammer lore. A couple years back, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and read the Horus Heresy, because I was thinking it was like was thinking it was like, 8 or 9 books maybe, and then I sat down and it's like 66 books with another one coming out this fall. It's like, oh boy.
I read the first one. It's a really good book. It is like an intense book. I don't know when I'm gonna get to I have to look up like the best ones within like the greater series like that are recommended. It's the same thing with Star Wars, right? Like there's like 19 new Jedi Order books. I'm not doing that. No, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I'm good. So it's like that's where I'm at. So Warcraft isn't that thing where it's like apparently the lore is like really huge and expansive. It's sort of like that Elder Scrolls stuff. So I'm like, ugh. I have Warcraft 3 on PC. So I'm like, I'm not a RTS guy at all, but since I'm getting used to mouse and keyboard, I want to learn. So like I'm pretty much looking forward to like actually getting through like games in my backlog. When that MOBA pad comes in, I'm gonna go all in on like some Switch stuff. Like I want to play Hades now for the first time because I have it on Switch.
Oh, nice! I loved Hades.
I have, and again, like you want to hear how much of a sicko I am? I have Diablo 2 and 3 on Switch as well as PlayStation. Diablo 2 Resurrected has cross progression,
dude.
So I'm going to go stupid sicko like
the original release of Diablo 2. That hit my friend group in school like a bomb. Like that game took over everything immediately.
Real quick, like this is like last night I finished the expansion. I sent you guys in the group chat like the picture of my character, level 67. And so last night I did not intend to play to completion, but I was like, I gotta finish this. Like I want to finish this, right? I'm like, oh, okay, I'll hard cut off at like 11 or 12 because I gotta get up like early to go to the gym. I gotta get up at 4. I stayed up until like 1:30 or 2 because I'm like, fuck it. I kept dying at the final boss. Like I am like in the trenches. I need to like this is like that same level. I understand why people are playing Diablo 2 for like 100 years. Like this is like the only game they play.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah,
I see it now. Like I see the light. I don't know if it's the light, right? Like it's probably terrible for me.
It's like looking at the Matrix.
Whoa, like that straight up. It's like it is like it's sort of that revelation where you're like, oh, I understand why certain games have the acclaim they do, or why they have the staying power, right? Like I get it. It's
like the Always Sunny clip of Danny DeVito crying, just like I get it.
I get it now. Yeah, I get it. Number go up. I get purple. What is it? Gold item. Purple. Purple is good. Purple makes me happy. Like that. That's sort of where I am. Oh, Justin, where can people find you? Where can people fight you on Blue Sky?
Yeah, just at RoboPlato on Blue Sky, like a robotic version of the philosopher. If you need the spelling, I imagine probably a lot of the people listening to this are familiar with me. We run in a lot of the same circles.
Friend of the pod. Friend
of the show.
You want anything? Anything you're up to, or?
Not really. I'm just chilling.
Hell yeah.
I've got a lot going on personally right now, and between work and all that stuff. So I'm trying to take that stuff in stride. I don't have too much else going on at the moment, but
I will
hopefully in the next couple months things start to turn around a bit.
You and I have known each other, like I said, for a long time. You're like one of my closest friends. So one, cool that we're doing this full circle, because I've never had you on Waypoint Set when I was doing that. I never had you on anything else that I've worked on because I've been kind of away from doing my own podcast, right?
Yeah.
But I'm glad that like it's a big deal. Like our friendship can survive past like we don't have to make content to justify like being friends.
Dude, I like it wasn't until this moment when you brought it up that I even had thought about it. Like you don't need to have me on your podcast. Like it's fine.
For sure. But this is like one of those things where it's like, no, come on, I got to talk to my boy. So I appreciate you being here, but two, like understand that like this isn't just like a kind of a throwaway thing. Like this is like the sort of like big full circle moment for us because, yeah, man. I mean, come on, I've known you like forever. You and I, we're tight. What is it? Like, I wouldn't trust anyone else to like review something as big as Marathon with. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That level of like.
I appreciate that. Like.
No, of course. I appreciate you being here.
I mean, I always love chatting with you, like. Because I love listening to you talk about like when you were talking about Gran Turismo earlier. Like that's something I've always like. I don't have that appreciation for cars. I'm really bad at controlling racing games, so I can't enjoy them. And like Gran Turismo is something that's always fascinated me because I could see how it like portrays cars and like a love of cars. And I think it's really fascinating from that. And I love hearing you talk about it because like you're somebody that echoes with. And it's kind of like how vicariously I like am able to experience stuff like that.
I like doing that. I'm glad that you and I kind of see like, and a big part of the show is like, we have different tastes, but we sort of have the same philosophy on video games as a whole. And the sort of same ideas about what they should and shouldn't be, or like what makes them special. So I'm glad that we were able to catch up and like really kind of discuss that. You guys can find me, same thing, Blue Sky at cynicalcz.bsky.so. I think I got that right, at .social. You'll know where to find me. Please, to those who watch this on YouTube, like this is like it's a thank you, you know, for all like the feedback and everything. You know, subscribe, like it on Spotify. I'm writing again. You can find me on Medium. It's my name, CJ Salcedo. Like I trying to go weekly, trying to get a little more personal, trying to like write things that like matter. Because like I hate writing. It's the worst thing anyone could do, and I do it like a lot. I do it semi-professionally too. But like I'm trying to get back into writing something a little more personal, like a journal of sorts. So I'll link everything in the description. With that, Justin, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. You know, anytime you wanna chat, I'm good to go.
You have an open invite. Anyway, thanks for listening, and have a good night.
Thank you.